every day we inch closer and closer to a world where AI basically runs everything. Big tech and corporations insist on phasing humans out completely and replacing every job they can think of with AI. And now, with robotics in the picture, that's the other piece of the puzzle. They can truly accomplish that. And, big tech leaders have talked about putting us on UBI, which is some sort of welfare program. But I don't think that's going to work out the way they think, because you saw what happened with COVID. Even when people were receiving a paycheck to do nothing, all that free time caused a lot of people to crash out. And the jobs that people thought AI couldn't touch, now with robotics in the picture, they could certainly, replace those jobs as well. Jobs like, plumbing, electrical work, being a cook, all those jobs now are in jeopardy because of robotics, mixed with AI. And they say we only have a few months, maybe a year or two, before unemployment's gonna, go past 10%. 40 to 60% of jobs are gonna be no longer done by humans. And I think that's gonna mark the beginning of a societal collapse. But I don't know, what do you guys think? Let's take a look at the most recent news, about robotics and AI.
Anxieties about their jobs.
So which jobs are most in danger, and what industries are going to survive and even thrive potentially in the age of artificial intelligence? Our reporter, Rory Campbell, has gone straight to the source of all knowledge, interrogating AI itself.
I forgot. Even jobs in hospitals, even construction jobs. Robots are being trained or being developed to be able to take those jobs as well. Now, I don't know about you, but they say that there's AI that can master a bars exam or pass one. Would you trust an AI or a robot to, perform surgery on you? I know that there's already kind of like a foot in the door. There's already some machinery that is pretty much robotics that can do surgery, and maybe one day they'll get really good at it. But I think in the beginning, when they're like beta testing things, is going to lead to more damage than good.
The types of jobs that are safe are the sorts of things where you're using your hands or you're interacting with people.
The sorts of jobs that are at risk from AI are the sorts of jobs that can be automated, particularly around clerical roles.
Artificial intelligence is transforming our world fast. Delivery drivers are being replaced by robots. They're not in Australia yet, but they're rolling through US neighborhoods.
Yeah, and I've seen these robots around, and they're like stuck on the side of the road, or they're stuck somewhere, or people kick them over, or they get hit by cars. Yet they insist this is the way, this is the future. And I think that this shouldn't be a thing, and you shouldn't take the human element of it, because these machines can't reason like a human can. These machines are just programmed to go and do a certain program job and not veer from it. And some people may think like, oh, that's a good idea, a machine will just follow orders and it won't divert. But there's a lot of things that a human brain does that machines can't do yet. And that's reason, that's have like empathy, that's be able to communicate with a customer when a customer has a problem with something. A machine would not be able to communicate back. So all these things that maybe 10, 20 years from now they'll perfect, but as of right now it's not good. And I don't think they should release like a half-baked good out into the world. But nevertheless, it's about how they're replacing jobs. I think we shouldn't replace jobs with robots. I know that companies want more money in their pockets, but what are we going to do? What are humans going to do for a living? We can't just do nothing. How are we going to pay our bills? They talk about, like I said, UBI, but that's probably going to be bare minimum to get by. And even then, what are we going to do with our time? They're just giving us money so then we can buy their products and nothing more. we can't enjoy our lives.
The daily chores could soon be a thing of the past. One of these costs $28,000 and they're scheduled to be shipping in the US sometime this year.
Your Neo comes with Redwood AI, enabling it to do basic household tasks autonomously.
Not every
And what about when they become murderous, like all the movies talk about? They could. But from what I hear is that a lot of these robots are still being like piloted by somebody in the Philippines or something. You know, it's not true AI. There's somebody still controlling it like it's a video game. So, you know, they're taking jobs from people and found a way to move them offshore without bringing the people here.
everyone welcomes our automated workforce.
That's right. No, yeah, back up. Don't you dare say hello. Remember, it's humans first, then dogs, then robots.
And it hasn't always been a smashing success.
Wow. I did not know. It can't even see that glass is there. It just crashes right through it. Like, what the hell?
There's been a few bumps in the road caused by, well, bumps in the road. Many are predicting major challenges with the AI
I see
revolution.
you order food
Artificial intelligence
and it never
needs
gets
to
to
be
you.
disarmed.
And they probably won't even
Within
give you a
5
refund.
years, we could be facing 15% unemployment in Australia.
Government departments are running modelling to work out what's coming next. A report found the jobs likely to be slashed the most by 2050 are general admin staff, receptionists, accounting bookkeepers, sales, marketing and PR, and business and systems analysts.
Yeah, and what would be the point of going to college now? What drive, what like purpose would humans have when there's no work to do? I know that they need to make like working conditions better for people, but instead of like fixing those shortcomings that corporations put humans through, we'll just replace you. If you're not going to take minimum wage and work extra long hours and not get any benefits from it, we'll just completely replace you. If you're not happy about pretty much being a slave, we'll replace you with a machine that'll happily do it, and they don't even need to get paid.
The safest are cleaners, nurses and midwives, business administration managers, construction and mining labourers, and hospitality staff.
Is this already happening, or how fast is this change going to take hold on those jobs that are vulnerable?
It is happening. So it's not happening in the way that we expect. There aren't that many mass sackings or mass retrenchments yet, but companies are slower to hire, especially entry-level workers. So the unemployment rate for recent graduates for white-collar jobs has already started to go up.
In the past, ChatGPT boss Sam Altman predicted mass-scale axings. This week, he declared those predictions were wrong.
I think the change will be gradual at first because it's still there's still a lot of unknowns. There's still a lot of caution around AI. So I don't think there'll be massive changes in 6 to 12 months, but I'd say by 5 to 10 years, we'll definitely be noticing quite a difference.
So what?
Yeah, and this is what pisses me off, is that instead of making society better for everyone, for us, they just find ways to replace us so that they can, increase their profits so their lives could be better. And what about the rest of us? Tough shit is basically what they're saying. There's so many ways to fix society and improve people's living conditions, reduce homelessness, raise people's standard of living, but instead they insist and keep pushing towards get screwed, like, too bad, I want my 100th yacht, too bad for you. Like, I'm just sick and tired of living in a world where they don't even bother to hide it anymore. At least before, they would deceive us and make us believe that there's light at the end of the tunnel, but now they're just spitting in our face, pretty much saying get fucked. And if you can't be a slave for us, we'll turn it over to machines and AI. Like, there's gonna be a breaking point to where people have had enough. Like, we can't keep living like this. And America is at its worst because we used to be a country where we were like the pinnacle of innovation, the pinnacle of like you come here and you can like start from nothing and make something of yourself. And now this is the last place people want to be. People still want to wave the flag like, you know, America's the best country in the world. And to a certain extent, there is a lot of great things about America that we've done that no other country has done. But we're driving it into the fucking garbage. You know, we're freaking derailing the train and driving this shit into oblivion because of all these greedy people and these people that are out of control with power. And instead of just doing the bare minimum and helping people live comfortable lives, you know, they just keep pushing for this freaking post-apocalyptic dystopian nightmare. There's a reason why depression is an all-time high. There's a reason why people just have no hope for the future, because they're doing this to us, and there's nothing that anyone seems to be able to do to stop us. They just get us to fight amongst ourselves, divide and conquer. Meanwhile, they get to enjoy the spoils, you know, of our hard work. And it's just getting ridiculous. And instead of, you know, like giving us better pay, you know, they got people in VR headsets that are, you know, driving Waymo cars or, you know, operating robots across the world so that a few people can enjoy their life while the rest of us burn in hell.
What can you do to prepare?
I think it is really valuable to learn how to use these models, both to improve your own skills, fill in the gaps, but also because this is where a bunch of the economy might be in the future.
Employment in some occupations will definitely be lower, but we'll have a larger economy and that creates jobs.
Maybe AI has the answer.
I'm here and ready to help. What's on your mind today?
I'm wondering what sort of jobs are most at risk from artificial intelligence in Australia?
In Australia, jobs most at risk from AI include clerical, administrative, and data entry roles, customer service and call center staff, retail sales assistants, and bookkeeping support.
Yeah, and it's not just Australia. It's all around the world. Anywhere where they're implementing this, all those jobs are at risk. Because, again, I keep harping on it. They just don't want us to be in the picture anymore. And they're going to replace us one way or another. You know, step one is implement all these AI tools and robots, and then step two is kick us to the curve to where we have nothing to do. It's all by design. They're purposely collapsing society, even with like relationships. They don't even want us to have relationships. They put out apps where it's all shallow and by design made for us to be more separated and less likely to, you know, start families. And yet we have people that are, you know, blaming the left, blaming the right when they don't see the people above them. Look up. Those are the people that are really causing the most damage to us.
Artificial intelligence actively looking to replace humans in jobs?
No, AI isn't out there plotting to replace anyone. It's a tool developed by people and businesses to solve problems.
AI is not plotting. The people that make AI and the corporations that are employing this AI are the ones that are plotting.
Improve efficiency.
What one job should I pick to make sure I'm safe from AI?
If I had to pick just one, I'd say something in nursing or a similar healthcare role. It's very human-centered.
It's almost like it has a
Yeah, but
heart.
for how long?
Rory Campbell there. And as it happens, Australia's largest private survey of workforce trends has just landed this afternoon. It's put out by the multinational recruitment firm Hayes, and its Asia Pacific CEO Matthew Dickerson joins us now. Matthew, thank you very much for being with us. Are you already seeing AI shift the jobs market, like how it is affected?
Gradually, and I think Sam Altman said it earlier in the week at the CBA conference, that the change isn't happening as fast as people thought it would be, and we're only seeing it gradually in some roles. It's including AI, but people are increasingly looking for critical thinking, problem-solving, human capability in the roles that they're sourcing for.
Yeah, so it's not happening as fast as they wanted it to, because the AI is not advancing as quick as they wanted to, because people are finally standing up and not wanting those data centers in their town that are draining those towns of resources. And that's a big roadblock for these AI companies, but they're going to build them one way or another. If they get rejected by a town, they'll just sue the town and dry them, bleed them dry in a lawsuit till the town can't even compete, and they're forced to fold. These companies have more money than many countries, so they're able to do that.
We keep hearing that knowledge jobs like law and accountancy will be the hardest hit, but your survey today says people in those fields actually have the highest expectations of pay rises over the next 12 months. How do you square that up?
They're still in high demand, and there isn't great supply for them in the marketplace. So their skills are in demand. Also, you've got to think about it. They're ultimately accountable for signing off on whatever the decision is. AI isn't making the decision. They're helping you make a better decision, but it's not signing it off. And so that demand still remains within the marketplace because they're critically thinking about what the answer to the problem is.
Academic Carly Moore-Gilbert wrote a piece this week questioning whether or not there was merit remaining for university as a higher education in whatever fields do survive.
No, I don't think so. I think that any job you go to college to, or any education you go to college to get a better job, those are going to be the first to go. And then you have trade jobs, but it's only a matter of time before these robots go after those trade jobs too. How much time do we have? Who knows? But it's probably going to happen a lot sooner than we all think.
AI. Do you think that there is? I mean, are we going to have a time where they may not necessarily degrees, that kind of education isn't needed?
I think there still is a need for university education. I think there's a need for education because AI can produce slop, and you need to know when it's telling you something that's incorrect. And so the critical thinking and understanding from an educational perspective of knowing what's right and what's wrong, what questions you need to ask to actually get the best out of it is going to set you apart versus those people that go, I don't need an education, I'll just rely on AI. They're going to be right.
Yeah, but people go to college now and get by using AI. Like, people are getting degrees and coasted through college relying 100% on AI. And now we have new generations coming up that can't even read or don't know anything because they're using AI to teach them everything, which is not getting stuck in their brain to know. It's all just in the moment stuff. And so, we're kind of screwed.
On slop.
Now, your survey also shows that more than 80% of employers say they can't find the staff, the skills that they're looking for, and yet nearly half of the working population, their wages in real terms are going backwards.
Yes.
How do you square those two things up?
I think what we're seeing, you and I, we look at wage rates and we think, oh, it's gone up on average this, but actually it's become way more targeted and specific and targeted on pay, targeted on progression, targeted on how AI is going to enable people to be better. And so what we're seeing employers do is they're focusing on the areas where there's skill shortages and they're deploying their capital in those areas to raise wage rates. And that's why 2 out of 5 people actually saw their wages going quite far back in the last year.
Yeah, because what's happening is that they keep lowering the pay for people to get. They're making us work way harder and then paying us less and less and less. And if we don't like it, they'll just replace us with somebody that'll take that lower pay. And then eventually, when those people don't like that, they'll replace them to get even lower pay. And then eventually, the AI comes in. We're like, well, if you don't want to take this low-ass pay and work 60 hours a week with no benefits, we'll just get AI to do it. And that's where we're headed. This is the society we're headed to, and it's not going to happen in 10, 20 years. It's probably going to happen in 5 years or less. That's how fast we're moving. And if these tech companies get their way and they keep building more data centers and keep taking over cities where it's, polluting the water and it's releasing, radio waves into the air that we can't hear, but it's affecting our brains, causing nausea and headaches. It's killing us from all directions. And we can't, again, it's frustrating because there's so many ways to fix our society and start a new golden era of humanity. But instead, they're choosing the bad ending where we're all being replaced and there's no work for us. And depression is rising even more. Then people go on drugs and they become homeless, and it just slippery slope from we're being attacked from all directions, and we can't be helped. And now we're in a new era of AI and robotics, where just a few people at the top get to enjoy the fruits of what life is all about, and the rest of us die off. That's what's going to happen. Again, thanks for joining me. If you like the video, thumbs up. If you don't, thumbs down. Let me know in the comments what y'all think. Subscribe if you vibe with this. We'll see y'all next time.